Didn't I mention that tiny, nasty Rubio the other day? Well, I'll tell you what, Aaron Russo sure knows a lot about that, and I'll be darned if it ain't important. Aaron Russo, a big-time American filmmaker, you know. Yep, he was standing right in the middle of a whole bunch of folks. Behind him were some big old letters. That big stage, and there he went, pacing round so them people could see him. He was yapping at 'em, just shouting 'cause he was all fired up. Well, he told those folks, "Oh, man, I'm just so mad. I'm real mad." But he didn't want to come off too harsh, so he said it with a smile on his face. Well, them folks just didn't really know how to deal with him, whether to clap or not. It was all kinds of unclear with those mixed signals. It was even written right behind him in big old letters. He done painted mad as hell on it to make it real clear that he was downright angry. Well, that uneasy crowd was a bit puzzled about what he was all about. He wasn't angry with them. No, that's why he gave a smile. He just wanted to explain why he was so mad. He'd already run half a marathon on that stage already, laughing and waving at folks, doing all that stuff. He was like a happy clown laughing out there in the circus ring. But beneath that smile, he carried some hidden anger. Ain't that a blessing in disguise? He figured out real quick why he was so darn angry and whose fault it was. That Aaron Russo guy, mad as a rattlesnake in a room full of rocking chairs. He mentioned that when they first got to working on this land, they came up with a few simple rules to keep everything from being too chaotic. Well, from there we'll just have to see what happens next, you know. But it's important. Y'all can do all the flip-flopping you want, but them rules ain't changing.
Do you have a wife? Ain't got any. But would you like to see her with plenty? You say take these pills with all the best will. Oh, darling, it will grow you some cannies. Don't dilly-dally now. Go on, grab a couple of them big old CMOS canisters from Dr. Jones's Big Naturals. It's titillating boob. I meant, it's titillating good. The limerick came from Marty Schachter. Well, thanks, Marty.
Well, shoot. Bette Midler walked in wearing a low-cut dress that went all the way to her knees, no bra or nothing. But then there was Aaron Russo. He took care of them things for safety. But Adam Russo, he just kept telling those folks about the basic rules he thought were so dang important. You remember that? Those rules been here long enough. Why's he suddenly thrown a fit over 'em? And shoot, it's been over an hour and a half now, and there's Aaron just laughing and swinging his arms. And the folks are clapping all confused like, trying to be polite with that Constitution, he says. Constitution! So, what was the deal with that? He'd come up with it on his own, or notice they went and overstepped their bounds. That was the whole reason he was so angry. You know, folks were sitting there thinking it was about Arabs coming in to buy up the good old USA because of that other movie, Network, with Stick Your Head Out of the Window. The Arabs have taken billions of dollars out of this country, and now they must put it back. It is ebb and flow, tidal gravity. It is ecological balance. He keeps going and says, stick your head out the window and yell, Dr. Jones, Big Naturals. No mad as hell, of course, just like Aaron Russo, he gets a kick out of throwing folks for a loop. Well, at first he's mad, but also waves and smiles. He's got a flick that's got a slogan from another movie for a title, just to mess with folks, you know. Communication, Aaron. Dang it, dang it. Jack Valente, that Hollywood fella, said if you're bouncing on a mattress down in Hollywood, it's got the same kind of springs as the mattresses up in Washington. People figured they were heading to something like that movie, Network, thinking it was just Zionist propaganda, like a Golan Globus deal or something. And let me be real clear here. I mean, like super clear, I said Goebbels and Globals. Those are them people trying to program you. But I ain't saying globalist. The fella's name is Globus, not no globalist. Well, even still, they're downright mean. That Aaron Russo fella he mentioned, that they done gone and broken the Constitution. I can't even recall what he was saying. He's just way too fuzzy on what he wants. But man, this really hurts me. I figured Trump had America and its folks' best interests at heart. But dang it, he just went and broke the Constitution. I ain't got a clue what all's in there, but I reckon a bunch of Christian cults thrown together probably got something about freedom of speech in it, right? Otherwise, they'd be fighting all day long, making up the rules and talking about their own little truths. Am I mixing this up with freedom of religion or what? Doesn't matter. A boy got picked up by ICE. Why? He was real upset about them kids being murdered over in Gaza. You need yourself a special kind of book with some good old moral rules and a bit of hocus pocus to remind you that this ain't normal? Nah, come on now. A little bit of humanity's got to have some feeling, you know, whether he's heard about God and Jesus or not. That gut feeling says it ain't right. Doc's showing the x-ray pics of little kiddos that got hit by snipers. There was a bulldozer driver for the IDF. He went vegetarian seeing all that dead meat. Darn those bulldozer operators. First thing they do is blow up that old apartment complex over yonder. Parents, grandfolks, and kiddos ground to bits over the debris. With a whole lot of effort, they get found in all that rubble. Just think about it. This here's a downright awful way to go. They bury them folks out in a little old graveyard. That's the last respect the family can show, ain't it? But then those IDF fellas roll up with their bulldozers and tear up all them graveyards on purpose. It's like they're giving the grieving folks a big old smack in the face, you hear? Call it what you will, them folks are terrorists just the same. Biden, Kamala, I can't stand them Democrats. But Trump's just as nuts, or maybe even crazier. During the campaign, Harry Sisson was all cheering for them. You know what I'm talking about. Biden and Blinken sure got a kick out of all them folks in Gaza being wiped out. Biden was responsible for that Iraq invasion too, but they'll remember him as Genocide Joe for the whole of his political life. Ain't it something? Just now I'm figuring out how I've been running a campaign for Jill Stein. That whole duopoly is just a pack of crazy folks trying to outdo each other. They were asking her, Kamala, you gonna do anything different than Biden? Like maybe let them kids in Gaza live? And she goes, nah, I'm just sticking with the plan. Used to be called X over on Twitter. The Democrats came up with that meme. Kamala Slay Queen. Picture of her with a big sword, like she goes there herself slaying those kids. Now here comes Trump. Trump, you know, from the other side. And you can't say nothing about that, because ICE'll come get you. Well, that's the end of freedom of speech. Them Republicans done took it away. And weren't they all for it together, huh? Just a bunch of lies. That boy's got a right to be mad. A right. And he can express his anger in a proper way. He's sort of like Adam Russo, right? Then again, he's furious. Mad as hell about them kids being slaughtered over in Gaza. That story sure is clear as a sunny day to me. Can't you say nothing no more about the mass child murders? Just letting it be normal. Is that what's in that fancy Trump Bible you got? The big lesson here is we're all family, y'all. If you can't accept that, then you're the one who's off base. Folks ain't all that special. Ain't no one around here let out a fart that smells like roses.